Rampardos was able to do pretty well in the last global challenge. We're going to be trying out a Rampardos team and seeing how well it can perform. This is a hard Trick Room team that utilizes Rampardos that finished top 256 in the GC. Let's break it down. First up, we got the Lunala with the leftovers and a Shadow Shield ability with the Terra Grass option. That Terra Grass is useful against Urshifu Rapid Strike, Kite Ogre, as well as spores from the Amoonguss, alongside the leftovers, allowing to heal back so it can get back Shadow Shield, an ability that allows Lunala to take half the damage if it's at full HP. It's very useful too because if you do fight like an opposing Rillaboom, which is usually the main counter for side spam teams, you're able to get to the leftovers alongside the grassy terrain from their side and be able to heal back and potentially get multiple Shadow Shield. So it's a really cool item, especially since this one's not running Meteor Beam. You're able to run the leftovers instead of the Power Herb. We have the moveset of Expanding Force, Wide Guard, Moongeist Beam, and Trick Room. I actually think during the GC, the highest placement actually had Moonblast by mistake over the Trick Room. And that definitely does add some dynamic to the team where it allows coverage on the Lunala, but it means Inity's the only Trick Room setter. So give or take here. We have just really strong coverage with the Expanding Force, able to do a ton of damage in that psychic terrain. The Moongeist Beam, of course, an insane ghost type attack that can also break through abilities and ignore them. Wide Guard for the support against very heavy spread type damage. And Trick Room, of course, you do want to set up the Trick Room because this is a hard Trick Room team. Overall, the spread is just being able to do as much damage as possible with max special attack alongside just being able to have bulk. So you just am going with HP and leftovers recovery again, just to help allow Lunala to stick around on the field. Next Pokemon we have is the Indeedee with the Focus Sash, Psychic Surge, and Terra Fairy option for your defensive typing to help out, especially against those dark type moves, especially doubles from like Chiyu Fluttermane, and of course to power up its Alluring Voice attack. The Focus Sash allows Indeedee to survive one really strong hit in general, so it's usually always able to take one and then be able to redirect both hits, usually from the Lunala, to set up the Trick Room. The Psychic Surge, of course, the ability to help stop the priority, as well as make that Expanding Force a spread type move that powers it up. And overall, pretty common Indeedee. Follow me, Trick Room, Helping Hand. We've seen these support moves that are just really good on the Indeedee. And then Alluring Voice is the interesting attack here. Usually it's Dazzling Gleam, but Alluring Voice allowing it to bypass Wide Guards, but also the fact that if your opponent does set up on the turn, you can go for the Alluring Voice and you have a chance to confuse them, so that's not a too bad option. You're running max defense to help out against Urshifu Rapid Strike, Surging Strikes, to be able to take it, and that's pretty much it. Otherwise, just running min speed, pretty common Indeedee set. Next Pokemon we have, you might be surprised about seeing this one, but it's a Choice Scarf Landorus with the Sheer Force ability and the Terra Ghost as an option, and this is mainly to help out with the Miraidon matchup because it can be a bit scary, but you also want to revenge KO'er into some big threats, especially the Miraidon as we mentioned before, but also Pokemon such as the Incineroar, which can be hard for Lunala or Torkoal to really dish out damage to. So you want a way that can be utilized so you could either lead it immediately and have some pretty decently fast offense, or you could set it in the back, and once Trigger expires, you bring out that Landorus Incarnate with that Choice Scarf that's able to potentially just outspeed your opponent's team and clean up the end game. So that's the idea of this Landorus Incarnate form. You have that Choice Scarf that just makes it speedy. Sheer Force powers up its attacks at the removal of its secondary effects, which is absolutely fine. Earth Power, Sludge Bomb, U-Turn, Sandsear Storm, pretty common moveset. U-Turn especially, that can help out for positioning and making the Miraidons play a bit scared. You could like U-Turn pivot into your Indeedee for the Psychic Terrain. You could U-Turn out into just like any offense like the Torkoal to set up under the Trick Room. It's just a very strong mod, running max speed just in case to help out against any like random timid Chiyus, for instance, which can be a thing that could annoy Lunala and Indeedee. So being able to just outspeed 100% guaranteed and just draw to as much damage as possible. Next Pokemon, we have a classic on hard Trick Room, Torkoal with the Charcoal, Terrifier, Drought to set up the Sun with Eruption, Weather Ball, or Power Protect. Pretty common Torkoal set. Eruption is just able to do so much, especially with that Sun and the Charcoal boost alongside the Terrifier. You're just really running just max special attack Torkoal, max HP. There really is no reason not to run it. And you're running Weather Ball as your single target option because it is stronger than Flamethrower overall with the Sun power. It's just a very straightforward brute force hard Trick Room team. It's just able to do so much damage with that Lunala, especially it's really hard to switch into a Terrifier Eruption in the Sun, especially paired next to a really strong attack like the Lunala's Expanding Force or the Rampardos' Rock Slide. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Dark Urshifu with the Choice Band, Unseen Fist, and Terra Poison as a defensive typing, not only to help out against the super effective Fairy and Fighting type attacks that Urshifu does suffer from, but also to power up its Poison Jab against the Terra Fairy options that are able to resist the close combat or the Wicked Blows. Otherwise, pretty common Choice Band moveset. You have the Wicked Blow, Close Combat, Sucker Punch, able to do a ton of damage with the same type of attack bonus, and then Poison Jab again to hit those Terra Fairies, maybe some Terra Grasses out there. But overall, just able to do quite a bit. This Urshifu is to take advantage running min speed pretty much for the most part. Does have some speed IVs in case you do fight it like a hard Sugar Mirror, and otherwise you're just really just dishing out a bunch of damage with this Choice Band Urshifu to be a wall breaker under the Trick Room. You're not running the Rapid Strike Urshifu, and you want to punish opponents that are trying to protect, because you can't protect in front of this Urshifu. Dish out as much damage as you can while you have your Trick Room turns remaining. The final Pokemon and the star of the show, the Rampardos with the Life Orb and the Sheer Force alongside the Stellar Terra and an interesting moveset of Rock Slide, Protect, Thunder Punch, and Iron Head. So, Life Orb Rampardos with Sheer Force. We know this set usually on Landorus Incarnate is a great combo because the Life Orb, you're able to do a ton of damage with the Sheer Force as well, being able to get rid of your secondary effects for a bit more power, but it also negates the Life Orb from chipping away at the Rampardos, which is pretty cool. Overall, this Rampardos is able to do a ton of damage utilizing that Life Orb, Rock Slide, and the Stellar Terra just to power up its attacks in case you need it. The Thunder Punch, which is pretty cool, to hit the Water Urshifus, and Iron Head to help out against any Terra Fairy mons, and can help out like against Ogre Pond, Cornerstone, and a few other Pokemon, Calyx, Ice Rider, if they go for the Terra Fairy, so can hit pretty hard. Otherwise, this Rampardos is just running min speed. Again, it's a hard Trick Room team. It's actually running a bit of bulk, maybe for some defensive calcs, just so Rampardos is able to stick around, because it already has one of the highest attack stats in the game. Base 165 is no joke off a Life Orb Sheer Force hit as well. So really, you're just trying to utilize this Pokemon to do as much damage as you possibly can while being able to survive usually maybe like one hit. And the Rampardos on hard Trick Room, you might be wondering why. Well, it's a great Pokemon that is able to go for Rock Slide into common threats of hard Trick Room. Usually like Terra Dark, Tornadus is pretty common with Rain Dance, and it's really hard for Lunala or Torkoal to really do much damage to. There's also Incineroar, which Lunala and Torkoal can't really damage, so a very strong spread type move that's able to do a ton of damage with that Rock Slide with combination of Life or Sheer Force. You can't get those flinches, but you can do a ton of damage next to them and usually KO the Incineroar with a double up, even through Intimidate. It's absolutely powerful, and that is the idea of the Rampardos. Overall, with this team, it's pretty simple idea of setting up the Trick Room. Lunala, Entity, usually getting Trick Room up. Maybe Lunala, Landorus, for instance. Maybe Entity plus a partner like Urshifu or Torkoal if you need to reduce the damage with Surging Strikes. But that is basically the goal. Get up the Trick Room with one of these Pokemon and then dish out as much damage as possible under Trick Room, trying to sweep them where they've taken too much damage. And if the Trick Room expires, you can usually clean up in the late game because you're able to survive one hit, or maybe even get a potential secondary Trick Room up. But really, you're just trying to get the sweeps under Trick Room with the very powerful offense you have. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. Eternatus, Urshifu, Incineroar, Grimmsnarl, Roymoon, and Amoonguss. I feel like anytime I've used size spam, or at least attempted to, I face triple dark. I have no idea why that's the case, but it always feels like it's going to be that way. All right, how am I approaching this? This is like one of the worst matchups I could possibly face with this team. They got screens, they have triple dark, they have probably annoying Calm Mind Eternatus. They have a Rillaboom, which gets rid of my terrain. This is... man. Alright, I'm just leading my Lunala, and I'm actually going to lead Urshifu because I can't lead Entity because of the Rilla. So I'm just going to bring the Rampardos in the back. This is not going to be fun, I can imagine. I think this is going to be like Cosmic Power, some stall stuff. If it's not Terra Fairy on Eternatus, this might be doable, but if it is Terra Fairy, which I'd imagine is like the best Terra type in general defensively, so I'd be shocked if this wasn't Terra Fairy. Grimmsnarl Roymoon is definitely an interesting lead here. Okay. Booster energy on the Roymoon, probably speed, yeah. Don't have the best switches. I am just gonna go for the Trick Room, Terra Grass here, and I am gonna go for a close combat into the Grimmsnarl because I need damage into Grim anyway. Looks like they don't go for Terra Flying, so Acrobatics won't KO my Urshifu. I'm kind of curious on what they go for, because if I had Terra Fairy and I had Gleam or Moonblast, or especially Gleam, they would be in a really bad spot. So I'm very curious on what a Snarl. Snarl Roaring Moon's a new one. Breaking Swipe was a thing. Snarl, not so much. Okay. No Reflect. A close combat goes out into Grim. I one-shot the Grim. So no screens go up. Were they going for Snarl Foul Play? Maybe Snarl Spirit Break to try and KO the Urshifu. But they definitely disrespected my Ursh. They also disrespected the Lunala because I had Terra Fairy and Gleam. I could have clicked it there and I could have just wrapped the game. I think even through the... Well, maybe not with a special attack drop from Snarl. We get back our Shadow Shield, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just in a really decent offensive position now. Eternatus is going to come in. I'm just going to swap out the Lunala because I want Lunala around. I'm actually going to go hard into Rampardos, and I'm just going to click close combat into the Roaring Moon. Because if Roaring Moon Terras, that means Eternatus can't Terra, which means I just get to Expanding Force through their team. They decide, hey, I'm going to go for a Terra. If they decide, hey, I'm going to switch out Roaring Moon, whatever's coming is taking a bunch of damage. Close combat is doing so much. And if Eternatus Terras, I think it's got to go for the offense into Urshifu, because if you leave Urshifu around, it's just going to destroy the rest of your team. Like, you aren't going to get chances to set up. So we'll take the most offensive approach we can here. Does kind of think we had to use our Terra on our Lunala. We didn't even have to technically, because I wasn't expecting that for the turn one, but hey, I'll take it. We're going to see the Terra committed, which is not surprising. Is this Eternatus or is this Roaring Moon? Okay, it is Eternatus and a Fairy. Yeah. That's not like a super shocker here. Okay. Although Expanding Force is still going to do a ton of damage, which is very nice. Here comes close combat. Pick up the knockout into the Roaring Moon. Roaring Moon goes down. Beautiful. What is this, man? Okay. Urshifu is picking up KOs left and right, which we love to see. What's the last decision here? Okay, they're going to go for Cosmic Power, which isn't great, but it's acceptable. It is acceptable. Who's the last? Is it Rila? No, Ursh. Water Ursh. I don't really need these Pokemon. I more care about my back, so I'm just gonna go for the close combat Rock Slide into the Ursh. We get Rock Slide off. We crit the Eternatus for a ton of damage. Okay, Rampardos. Close combat gonna pick up the knockout into the Urshifu, and yeah, I think I thought this was going to be a miserable experience. Just like, I didn't expect him to bring 3 Dark types, but I expected him to bring Eternatus. I expected to bring Rila, and then I fought Grim, and then like a back mono. They do go for that KO into my... they do go for the KO into my Ursh, but I should have this game sealed. Wait, is it not Leftovers Eternatus? I feel like it should always be Leftovers Eternatus. Unless you want to run Covert Cloak. I guess Covert Cloak's fair. They don't have Mons. I have Mons. Where is my switch? Unless they decide, hey, I'm going to disconnect here. And then... Yeah, I mean, regardless of my plan, I think it's just to always go Lunala, click Ironhead, Moongeist Beam, or I could go Indity. Yeah, like, there's the disconnect. Okay. I guess that's just Dark Urshifu just breaking through the team for you. Not much to say there. Uxie, Urshifu, Incineroar, Annihilate, Porygon 2, and Miraidon. This is one heck of a team. All right. I want to bring Dark Ursh so badly, but the challenge will probably not allow me to, because I am going to bring Lunala for sure. Lunala is great in this matchup generally. We'll be bringing the Landorus, so I threaten the Miraidon. Inity to control the Miraidon's terrain and prevent fake out, but also the Rampardos, because we are bringing Rampardos to every game. Otherwise, Dark Ursh would be so nice here. It would be so nice. I just blow up like most of their team. But we'll see how this plays out. I would like to just capitalize on damage. Basically, a lot of this is kind of foreign to me because I'm so used to Farig. I'm so used to like their standard plays, but I don't know. I think this should be all right. We're gonna see Incineroar Annihilate lead. Okay. Versus Landorus and Lunala. So Intimidate goes off. That doesn't matter. I don't think... Do I Trick Room here? I could Trick Room. I feel like I'm worried about Scarf Annihilate going for U-turn and then Lunala going down to a combo. I think I gotta get this play right because I could easily lose this instantly. I think I'm gonna go for Trick Room and I'm gonna go for Earth Power into the Incineroar immediately. Because Miraidon runs a Soul Vest Incineroar, so this could be knockoff. And then Annihilate could go for an attack here. Oh, they swap out Incineroar. Okay. Yuxi? Yeah, that's probably Yuxi. I don't recognize the text. Yeah. Ooh, good play on their part. Okay. If this is Taunt Annihilate, this is kind of bad. Is it that bad? No, because... Alright, they go for a Terra immediately. Terra Water. Sure. What's the vision here? I'm trying to see the vision. I don't see the vision. As I Terra Grass, so I don't have to worry about any Rage Fist, Shadow Claws, or like anything of that nature. Okay. The Earth Power failed in a Yuxi, which is fine. They just Rage Fist. Okay. That's perfectly acceptable. Does no damage because I've gotten no stacks on the Annihilate, which is also the reason why I didn't want to click Sanseer Storm. But yeah, now I think I just go for a Moongeist. Does Yuxi Rem Protect? I have no clue. I'm trying to feel this out, but I have no clue. I think I'm just going to go for the Moongeist Beam into the Yuxi, and I think I'm also going to Earth Power to Yuxi in case they try to swap in Incineroar to absorb the Moongeist Beam if they don't have Protect. If this is Ally Switch, I also cover that play, I suppose. Does Yuxi even get Ally Switch anymore? No, Crest does. I don't know about Yuxi because I haven't really seen Yuxi much at all. But we're just going to go for Moongeist Beam, get as much damage as possible. Ignore the Annihilate because if it's only stacking Rage Fist, like, it's not really that much of a threat. Without me attacking into it. Yeah, Protect, which is fine. We got Rampardos in, but let's see what the Annihilate does. Ice Punch. Okay, it doesn't do that much damage though to Lunala, but now my Landorus has to respect that, I suppose. I'm gonna Moongeist Beam swap into Incineroar, I suppose. I mean, I'm just confused right now. Is this a Soul Vest Annihilate? It might be. I go Rampardos and I threaten heavy damage. I wonder if they're gonna... I feel like they might Ice Punch and swap into Incineroar, yeah. Which is fine. Yeah, this is fine. Dealing with the end game of the Annihilate though might still be scary. We do go for the Rampardos switch. So it's a Soul Vest Annihilate? That doesn't look like a Soul Vest Incineroar. At least I don't think. U-turn. Okay. That works out perfectly well for me, actually. Because Annihilate gone is actually pretty sweet. Alright, what's coming in? Yuxi? Yeah. I just click Moongeist Beam and I click Rock Slide, I think. Yeah, but left there's recovery, which is beautiful. Yeah, there's 2 turns of Trick Room, so I'm not really too concerned about this at the moment. I'm just going to go for Moongeist Beam and I'm going to go for Rock Slide. They can't Terra the Incineroar. They can only fake out 1. All right, they give me Incineroar. That's an amazing KO. So I get rid of Incineroar, which is a beautiful knockout. And they give me the Yuxi with Moongeist Beam. Excellent. Excellent. Goodbye, Yuxi. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about our end game because they can't Terra the Miraidon anymore. They're going to give me the Electric Terrain for the Annihilate. I'm about to do some fun things to that Annihilate. I'm going to do some fun things to that Annihilate. So this is Annihilate. So we saw Rage Fist, Ice Punch, U-Turn. It has to be close combat as the last move. I think it has to be Assault Vest. Miraidon in. Now, one time I'll be thankful that we have Thunder Punch on our Rampardos. So we can go for a Moongeist Beam. I'm going to double up the Annihilate because there's no way this Annihilate has protected my eyes. I'm going to go for Thunder Punch and I'll go for Moongeist Beam. Electric Terrain, Life Orb Sheer Force from this high of an attack stat. Easily should KO Annihilate. And then we get a Moongeist Beam KO into Miraidon. Goodbye Annihilate. And now because we got the chip damage into the Miraidon with the Lunala, I'm pretty sure Landorus and Indeedee always clean up from here. Yeah, it's a 2-shot too, which is kind of nice. They go for Dragon Pulse. Okay. Lunala goes down, but I just go out into Indeedee. I click Alluring Voice and I go for a Rock Slide. As yeah, we win the game. Beautiful. Interesting. I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say. I guess that Rampardos is a better Gen 4 mod than UC. I guess we'll leave it at that. All right, we have Ogerpon, Heartflame, Whimsicott, Miraidon, Farigiraf, Iron Hands, and Urshifu. I think this match was pretty rough. Main reason is, well, I think it's rough because I'm bringing Rampardos to the matchup. The reason otherwise is like I think I'd be okay without it. But let's see, I do like the Lunala. I like the Landorus because Choice Scarf Landorus is able to threaten a lot of damage. I think backwise is Indeedee and Rampardos. The problem is with this team is Iron Hands. Iron Hands is a very, very scary Pokemon. And it usually runs min speed on these Trick Room Miraidon teams. So I can't exactly go for Trick Room safely until A, I get rid of that Iron Hands, or B, confirm it's not being brought. I mean, I would always bring what? I would always bring Farigiraf if I was them. I'd probably bring the... I always bring Miraidon for Rig, I think. In back, I'm pretty sure it's Ogerpon, Heartflame, and Iron Hands. That's what I would say. I don't think Whimsicott should be brought into this matchup. It just... You don't bring Tailwind. I don't think Light Screen's worth it just to have Whimsicott. Yeah, we see Miraidon for Rig, which makes sense as I do bring Lunala and the Landorus. I think we go for the Terra Grass. Foul Play does a lot of damage, so I think we should Terra Grass here. It also covers a Volt Switch, which is nice. I think I'm just going for Expanding Force immediately and just U-turning out. I think I'm going to U-turn out the Farig because I want damage into Farig. Because if we damage the Farig, it can't reverse Trick Room, which is kind of nice. So we'll U-turn here to bring out Indeedee for the terrain control. And the spread Expanding Force is going to hurt my opponent. We're also going to see a Terra committed immediately because they are scared of Earth Power, I suppose. So this actually works out pretty well. We do see the Terra on the Miraidon. Okay. So I'm kind of curious if they click Dazzling Gleam, if they click Draco Meteor, or if they click Volt Switch. But yeah, we will Terra Grass our Lunala. And go for Expanding Force. I'm really hoping for some good damage here. Ooh, Helping Hand. This might be Dazzling Gleam then. Unless they went for like Helping Hand Electro Drift or Helping Hand Draco Meteor into Lunala, which I don't think should be the case, but I mean, I'll take it if they do go for that. We go out into Indeedee, which has a Focus Sash, but more importantly, that Psychic Terrain going to prevent the Electric Terrain boost to the Miraidon, so it's doing a lot less damage than it would have previously. They do go straight for Dazzling Gleam, so that's perfect. Yeah, like Lunala eats that up and Expanding Force is going to come out. Yeah, pretty good damage. Pretty good damage. They don't really have a swap, so it's either give me Miraidon or give me something in the back. Unless it's Dark Ursh in the back, which I'd be shocked by. I'm just going to go for Helping Hand, Expanding Force, because I want to damage into... I want to punish any switch they could go for. If they give me Miraidon, that's pretty massive, I think. Because that's a lot of their offense, and I'll still have terrain control for the game. So I think I'm just going to go for Helping Hand plus Expanding Force. Like, it punishes pretty much anything that isn't a Dark Ursh in the back. And then I think Scarf Lando would be really good. Like, the thing is, if they switch out the Miraidon, I think Scarf Lando has really good time as well. And they decide, hey, I'm going to stay in, which is perfect. So I am going to be able to get the Helping Hand off as they're going to KO the Entity. I don't think we KO Farig, but I don't think Farig KOs is back with Psychic. But we'll find out. So here's a Helping Hand Expanding Force. Yeah, we don't KO the Farig, but I mean, no free switch is kind of nice for Sandsear potential. Psychic Noise. Prevents Leftovers Recovery. Psychic wasn't going to KO us, but I think this is still pretty good. All right, Landorus in. Let's see who they bring out. If it's Ursh, that's fine. I'm clicking Sandsear Storm and Expanding Force. Because sometimes you just have to hit Sandsears in life. If they go Ogerpon, I still click Sandsear and I click Expanding. Ursh comes out. Okay. All right, Landorus in. Is there no Iron Hands back? That's what I'm curious about. If there's no Iron Hands back, I go for Trick Room here. I feel like it should be Iron Hands. I think I just go for Expanding for Sandsear. All right, Sandsear gonna come out. Big damage to the Urshifu, KO the Farig. Okay. Surging Strikes in the Lando. Okay, so I am able to KO the Ursh. And now it's a 2v1. The question is, who is the final? Because that's going to be a big question here. Is it going to be the Ogerpon? Or is it going to be the Iron Hands? If it's Iron Hands, I think I win. Because Expanding Force plus Rock Slide should cover every Terra that they normally run. And if it's Ogerpon, I might have to make a call of, do I go for Protect Trick Room or not? So we bring out Rampardos. Iron Hands would be super ideal. Oh wait, they already terrored with their Mons. Iron Hands comes out. Okay. So we get a single target Expanding Force off. I don't think that KOs. I'm hoping that 2 Rock Slides plus Expanding Force KO though. Oh, easily. Yeah, it's like min speed hands. That's usually how it goes. We are able to pick up the knock on Iron Hands, and beautiful. Beautiful. All right, trades were worked out there. So Ursh is just surprising me because of the Sun potential, but I mean, I'll gladly take it. I'll just gladly take it. We were able to get, I think, pretty good offense. We were lucky enough to hit our Sandsears, which was pretty important. Especially, well, the only one that really mattered was the one, actually it didn't even matter because I would have just Expanding Force anyway because they targeted my Lando. It only mattered if they targeted my Lunala because otherwise I wouldn't have got the Expanding Force off, but since I got the Expanding Force off, like, it was getting a double KO there. So beautiful. All right, we have Raging Bolt, Calyx, Shadow Rider, Rillaboom, Urshifu, and Incineroar, Cornerstone, Ogerpon. Pretty standard Shadow Rider team in general. What am I prepping against this? I think I want to bring Dark Ursh. Or do I want to go Torkoal? Probably bring Dark Ursh. I think it's like the combination of Lunala. I think I'm going to leave Lunala Dark Ursh. Because they lead like something like Shadow Rider plus the Incineroar. I threaten Wicked Blow or Sucker Punch immediately, which is pretty big. I have the Entity back in the Rampardos, I suppose. That's the last. A lot of this is going to come down to A, the Terra type on the Shadow Rider, because Shadow Rider is probably going to Terra. We have to figure that out. B, What are they clicking, man? I think like the best play for me is if they lead Shadow Rider and Incineroar to switch out to Urshifu into Indeedee turn 1, Terra Grass, and go for the Trick Room. Because that covers a Draining Kiss play that they could go for, and this also covers if they... Well, it doesn't cover if they have Taunt on Incineroar, or... It does cover if they go for Astral Barrage knockoff, though, which is massive. But then again, that's... It's a silly play unless they Terra the Shadow Rider. Urshifu plus Shadow Rider, okay. I don't mind this, yeah. I think my best play is just to go for Terra Grass Trick Room immediately, and I'm gonna throw off a Sucker Punch. The logic for the Sucker Punch is because if I get the Sucker Punch off into the Shadow Rider, I get good damage in the Shadow Rider, and then I can go for like Moongeist Beam into Rock Slide under Trick Room the following turns. Assuming this isn't Taunt Urshifu. If it's Taunt Urshifu, we could have problems. But then again, you also have to respect my Dark Ursh. So I don't know, this might be weird. I feel like this is Astral Surging or Astral Close Combat with the Terra from the Calyx being revealed here. And I just want to see what Terra it is. Terra is going to reveal Terra Normal. Okay, so yeah, Sucker Punch is doing a ton of damage from a Choice Band Ursh, and it will put in range of like Rock Slide with the Choice Band. Or Rock Slide later on. Terra Grass is the perfect Terra type here. Will allow us to absorb Surging Strike plus Astral Barrage combo. Draining Kiss would be the annoying move here. But Terra Normal doesn't usually run Draining Kiss, so I think I should be fine. Sucker Punch going to come out, does so much damage. We're going to see Close Combat. It's Scarf Ursh, so that's actually good to know. I don't have to worry about Protects. So that's really nice. Okay. Ursh goes down. Also, Calyx Shower is now threatened by Expanding Force, which is beautiful. Astral Barrage, but we did go for the Terra. Ooh, fantastic, fantastic. We'll also get Leftovers Recovery. It's Life Orb Shadow Rider, so even if they go Incineroar, I think they're guaranteed in range of -1 Rock Slide. So we get to go out into our massive threat of the Rampardos, and we get to click buttons. Moongeist Beam Rock Slide is looking super demonic for them to switch into. And if they want to go Rillaboom, which is probably like the one Pokemon that absorbs both attacks comfortably. Or not comfortably, it's the only one that absorbs attacks in general. Maybe a Solvest Raging Bolt can, but then they give me Leftovers with Grassy Terrain Recovery, and I always can switch on to Indeedee in following turns. We're going to see the Urshifu switch out into the... whatever this is. Incineroar, yep. I don't know, how much are we doing with Rock Slide plus the Moongeist Beam? We'll find out. They protect. Come on, Rampardos. Hit your Rock Slides. Hit your Rock Slides. All we need to do is hit the Rock Slides, especially in Incineroar because it's the Pokemon I can't damage. Nice. Ooh, a bit less than I thought, but still pretty solid damage. We are able to get the Moongeist Beam off. Yeah, another one will finish off the Incineroar. Do I KO the Shadow Rider at this range with Expanding Force? I think so. I should. So I'm going to Expanding Force Rock Slide, double up the Shadow Rider with Rock Slide Expanding Force. I don't know if you have Bulk if you're Life Orb. We'll find out. You also have to fear me going for Fake Out because of the fact I have an Indeedee potential of swapping in. And that's why I'm playing aggressive and just going for attacks because I have the room to. And if you play passive, like I'm getting the Leftovers Recovery for another Shadow Shield potential. So right here, I'm just putting on a lot of offensive pressure. We're going to see the swap here into Rila. I think Rila would make a lot of sense here. Or Ursh. Oh. Well, that Ursh is goodbye, Ursh. Goodbye, Urshifu. Beautiful. Beautiful. Getting all this recovery too. If they bring in Rila, I think Rillaboom's going to be the interesting part. If they have it in back, which they should. Ogerpon is last. Okay, no, I think It's not a guaranteed win, but it's like really likely here. So I'm gonna go for a Moongeist Beam into the Ogre Pond and a Rock Slide. Their play. Actually, no, I'm gonna double up the. Can I double up the instant? I can afford to double up the instant because I think. Actually, no, because they would parting shot. No, I think I just double up the. I just double up here. They go for Spiky Shield. They're gonna sack the instant here to bring in the Kali Shadow, and then they're gonna go for a double protective Cornerstone. That makes sense. All right, Incineroar goes down. Beautiful. Moongeist Beam into the Cornerstone. Nice. All right, it gets a bit tricky. It gets, well, actually does it. I think it just depends on what they do, but I think my best play is just to click. I'm thinking of going Entity because if they get the double protect, it's a bit strange, but I think my best play is just to go for a Moongeist Beam and a. Actually, actually, no, it's Expanding Force, right? No, it's definitely Expanding Force. It's Expanding Force swap into Entity here. Because it bypasses a follow me. If they decide, hey, I'm going to go for double protect, I can just follow me with my Sash Entity and trick them again. My only concern is that they actually attack with Ogre Pond, which I feel like you shouldn't. I feel like you always go for the double protect, but we'll see. Ah, they went for the attack with the Ogre Pond. Okay. Actually, no, this is okay no matter who they target, right? If they Ivy Cudgel into Lunala. No, yeah, this should be fine. Because I go for Expanding Force Trick Room. The Entity has Sash, so I'm always guaranteed to live. I'm guaranteed to live one hit. If they spread the attacks, they just lose the game. It's just one of those days where you fight a Life Orb, Expanding Force Calc Shadow Rider that also, for some reason, doesn't have an Entity. But also they crit my Entity. So I think I could have lived the Ivy Cudgel from the Cornerstone as I'm max defense on the Entity and got Trick Room up and still won. I'm just surprised. I guess they were just hoping for Rock Slide miss at that point. I guess they were just going to go for Rock Slide miss at that point. Hope that they got the attack off Cornerstone. I really thought, hey, they were going to go for a double attack. They get the Ivy Cudgel off. It's like fine as a position as long as I'm able to go for the Expanding Force plus Ivy Cudgel. I also considered the Expanding Force. I was debating about wide guarding still, but I'm like, okay, I don't even think that KO's Entity, even with the Ivy Cudgel double up. And then there's a crit from the Expanding Force. And I'm like, yeah, that just happened. Koraidon, Rillaboom, Fluttermane with Raging Bolt, Incineroar, and Torkoal. Okay, Sun can be scary just because of the offensive capabilities they have. They have triple ground weak. I don't know if I want to lead. I want to lead Landers. Landers ain't a bad lead. Landers ain't a bad lead. I don't really like Torkoal. Urshifu is pretty decent, but not necessary. I think I want to go with Lunala Landorus again. It's just such a strong lead, I think, in general. Bring the Entity and Rampardos. Because I need terrain control. Torkoal is not really super helpful. They got a bunch of fire resists, which I don't think is nice. The Urshifu Stargurge is okay. It really just depends on how well I play. I think Banded Sucker Punch would be really nice for the Torkoal, so Eruption doesn't get out of hand if I lose Lunala early. But a lot of the game is probably just going to come down to, hey, can I sweep with the Landers or not? Because that's going to be a big question. Let's see what they decide to lead here. I'm very scared if they lead Flutter plus Koraidon. So they lead Flutter plus Koraidon, we're in trouble immediately. I think Icy Wind plus Flare Blitz and Sun would just delete my team. Incineroar Koraidon's completely fine. Okay. So I'm okay with just drawing off an Earth Power and a Moongeist Beam immediately. Or would I want Expanding Force here? I do have Terra Ghost. I think I'm just going to go for an Earth Power Moongeist Beam. So they have Fake Out Pressure, but Entity is such an obvious switch, which makes it really weird for them. I think I like the idea of just Moongeist Beaming and just going for an Earth Power into the Incineroar, because they can only take one knockout here. I think I should have Moongeist I feel like I should double the Incin actually. I think I should double the Incin. This is kind of a weird slot because they don't know what my Terras are. But we're gonna see Incineroar retreat. This might be Rila to read the Indeedee terrain. Yep, exactly. Which I am fine with as long as I am able to get good damage into Koraidon. If they decide, hey, okay, if they protect too, this is still pretty decent. Okay, because I get Expanding Force the next turn. Yeah, I don't mind this. All right, this is not too bad. This is not too bad. I went for an aggressive play. It worked out huge because now I can go for Expanding Force, do a ton of damage, and go Indeedee here. They could swap out to Koraidon and Incineroar, but that's risky if I go for Earth Power. They probably are thinking, hey, there's no Indeedee swap, so they might decide, hey, I'm going to go for Fake Out. Or maybe they even go for Grassy Glide plus like a Flare Blitz into the Lunala slot, which would get hard punished because the Grassy Glide wouldn't go off before the Flare Blitz. I get to keep the Shadow Shield, and then Expanding Force fires back for some pretty heavy damage. So that's what I'm going for here. They go for Flame Charge. No Terra. Oh, that Koraidon's gone. Yeah, they went for Grassy Glide. I don't know why you Flame Charge, though. I think you would Flare Blitz if you make that play, but Expanding Force is just going to delete the Koraidon, do so much damage to Rila. We're in a fantastic spot now. We're in a fantastic spot. Gladly take that. Gladly take that. All right, let's see what's going to be brought back. Incineroar coming in, which is not too surprising. They can't knock out Indeedee. I want to scout for the Torkoal, so I'm going to go for a Expanding Force, or did I just Moongeist Beam? I feel like I just Moongeist Beam the Rila. And follow me. Because if it's Torkoal, it takes a lot anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, I'm just going to follow me Moongeist Beam. This should always be like Heart Swap, Rila. I want to see if it's Torkoal, because if it's Torkoal, I could... If it's not Torkoal, I can just Trick Room. And it looks like it's Raging Bolt, so this is perfectly fine. Okay. They go for Follow Me with Indeedee. Moongeist Beam, yeah. So they need to keep the reel around, otherwise they just lose to Landers. That is not a Solvus Raging Bolt. That took so much damage, and a knockoff going to come out of Indeedee. Perfect. Okay. Lunala is pretty healthy right now. They haven't used Terra yet, so I'm a bit concerned, but at this moment, I don't see why I wouldn't just... I kind of want to keep the setup around, but I don't think I should risk my Landers. Trying to think, is there any Terra that changes anything here? I guess Terra on Lunala, but it should be Flare Blitz on the Incineroar too, so that's not even that helpful. I think I just Moongeist Beam, and I think I follow me. I don't really like this trade though. Okay, a Raging Bolt protects, which is fine. We go for Follow Me with the Indie. This is probably a KO on the Indie, which is absolutely fine. Yep, they go for the knockoff, KO the Indie. Perfect. All right, we're gonna go out into our Landers. We have Choice Scarf and Earth Power. I think Terra-wise, you would probably Terra the Incineroar. I'm gonna Moongeist Beam the Incineroar, and I'm gonna Earth Power the Raging Bolt, because I feel like you're not gonna Terra Fairy the Raging Bolt. The Raging Bolt retreats. Is this Rila? Yeah, Rila comes in. Okay. Did they should Terra the Incin, but the question is, what Terra are you? Okay, they do Terra. Good. They show me Terra Ghost. This is what I was reading. Nice. Nice. Okay. I Moongeist beamed the slot because I was reading the Terra Ghost. Beautiful. Earth Power comes out in the Rillaboom. Because the thing is, if I Earth Power the Instant slot and Moongeist Beam, I kind of pin it. If I Earth Power the Incineroar and I'm faster with my Lunala, then... Oh, that didn't KO. Uh-oh. I thought that was KOing. I thought that was KOing. Wait. Is that a Solvest? Or max special attack Lunala? I feel like that has to be, right? Oh no, that's bad. Well, I could Terra Ghost, but the problem with Terra Ghosting... Actually, Sun faded. Can I Terra Ghost Earth Power? No, because if they Grassy Glide my Rampardos, the game is over. I think Earth Power knocks out the Rila based on the damage. I don't think they Grassy Glide the Rampardos. Maybe Rampardos can live one Grassy Glide. They do fake out my Landers, which is what I would expect anyway. Perfect. They knock off to try and get rid, put me in range of like a Grassy Glide. Just hit the Rila. Okay, we're good. Okay. It got dicey there, depending on what they do. But the thing is, if you Grassy Glide the Rampardos, I think it might survive barely. Because even though Rampardos is decently frail, it has high HP, and Grassy Glide isn't the strongest move. If they decide, hey, I'm going to go for a fake out, I pretty much always get the KO on Rila with one of my mons. Incineroar, I can't pick up the knockout either. So I was just pretty much ensured, I think, a KO there, which is great. I get to go for Rock Slide, I get to go for Earth Power, and that seals the game. Actually, I should always go for Stellar Terra with my Rampardos. Now, there's no way I need Stellar Terra to KO the Raging Bolt. But you know what? No, it's always the safest play anyway. Because there's no reason of ever going for Terra Ghost with my Landers. About going to be forfeited. Okay. I was not expecting the Incineroar to survive that Moongeist Beam. I got a few plays right towards the end. It was just like really surprising. I was so shocked that they went for the Flame Charge play when I expected the Grassy Glide attempt and a Fire move. I was expecting the Flame Charge there. And I guess I got just Trick Room. Because if I Trick Roomed, I'm pretty sure I just swept with Rampardos next to Lunala under Trick Room. But that's my fault. All right. Iron Hands, Landers, Incarnate, Urshifu, Amoonguss, Grimmsnarl, and Calyx Ice Rider. Okay. This is going to be a tricky game. This is going to be a very tricky game. Also, why do I have to bring the Rampardos every game, man? If it wasn't for like I had to bring Rampardos every game, I think this would be probably pretty decent. I do like Expanding Force a lot. They don't have the best answers to me clicking Expanding Force with the Lunala, so I think it's probably just NDD Lunala click Expanding Force, unless this is Dark Urshifu for some reason, which I don't think it should be. I think it should always be Water. I think NDD plus the Lunala is really nice here. In the back, I'm bringing the Rampardos. I don't even think Rampardos is that good here, but it definitely could do some stuff, I guess. And then I think I want Torkoal. A, reduces the power of the Urshifu Surging Strikes, but also B, threatens the Calyrex. While like underspeeding Hands. I need a consistent speed tier against Hands, which is the thing. I don't know. I might need my Terra on the Lunala potentially, so I don't think Terra on Dark Urshifu helps here. Although it is good in the Hands, but I need to threaten the Amoonguss if they get Trick Room up. Amoonguss is just a problem because of the fact that if it's Terra Water, it's hard for me to damage. Expanding Force is going to do a bunch of damage, but I don't know. I think Grimmsnarl's always been broad. I think Calyx Ice Fire is going to be broad. I think Iron Hand should always be broad. And then last mon, it's either Urshifu or Landorus. I guess I could bring the other one I'm forgetting, but we'll see. Amoonguss, but we'll see. Grimmsnarl, Urshifu, okay. Versus Indeedee Lunala. I'm guessing they're just gonna try to brute force this combo. I wonder if they're going for Surging Strike's foul play. I'm trying to think. I should be foul play on this team. You need to threaten Calyx Ice or Shadow Rider. When I Moonblast. I think my play is just to Terra Grass offensively. Go for a Moongeist Beam into, or you know what? I'll go for Expanding Force. I'll go for Expanding Force, and I'm gonna go for Alluring Voice. I need a damage into Grim. I do need the damage into Grim. This is going to be so concerning because I have no idea what their Terra is. I do have mons that can beat Cali Ice, but having a Terra Grass this is not ideal. I wonder if they're taunt actually on Urshifu. They could be taunt, but I could see this being just trying to brute force with certain strikes with their Mystic Water. Light Screen goes up. Okay. Oh, it is taunt on Urshifu. All right. Does Expanding Force KO Ursh? I would not be surprised if it does. And then Cali Ice comes in, and then we're in trouble. Okay, yeah, we KO the Urshifu, which is not bad. And we get the Alluring Voice off into the Grimmsnarl. I guess it's not like a terrible turn, but it's not like a super ideal turn either. Yeah, I do like no damage to the Grim. That might be a bit problematic. It should be Cali Ice. Luckily, they can only have one of... So I can trick her with Lunala, which is nice. Dude, how am I breaking through? Like, some of this combo is my problem. I think, like, hands in the back would be really problematic. Do I want a Trick Room? I guess I could Wide Guard swap. Wide Guard and swapping out in a Torkoal to absorb the hit. I'm just worried about like... I'd rather go Rampardos though. I'd realistically rather go Rampardos. I'm gonna go Rampardos. The reason I'm gonna go Rampardos is because it might force the Grimmsnarl to reflect, but also like... I just don't know how I'm breaking through the Cali Ice. Wait, they didn't... Terra. Okay. We go for the Wide Guard. They do foul play. Glacial Lance? Yeah. Okay. That is actually super ideal. That is super ideal. Is this min speed Cali Ice? We'll figure it out. I don't know. I don't think that's a terrible trade-off here. Do I want to Iron Head the Grim? Because the Grim's really annoying. But I think I might live to Iron Head if it's going to set up a Reflect. I could Wide Guard again, but it's just a mind game at this point. I think it's just better to go for a... I think I'll throw out the Moongeist Beam and just a Rock Slide and get some heavy damage off. I'm hoping that this is just Reflect and maybe high horsepower. And then they try to go for Glacial the following turn. I think that's the best out. Like, I am basically gambling every turn on what the Cali Ice does. Wait, they decide not to Terra. I get a Moongeist Beam off. Oh, I crit the Cali Ice. I'll take it. I don't know what their speed is on Cali Ice. If it's min speed Cali Ice, Rock Slide was super ideal, but I have no idea what their thing was. They went for foul play, which makes me think they were going for high horsepower. That did so much damage. Holy cow. That did so much damage. I mean, we'll gladly take it. I'm surprised that there was no Terra. Landorus coming in. Okay. Are they Terra Poison? There's a Psychic Terrain. I think that this is always a swap into Indie angle because I never risk it, and I think I just go for... I think I always Ironhead the Grim. Because I want an accurate hit off. I could see this being a double up into Indie, which is fine. They do Sludge Bomb here. The Indie... Poise... Wait, what? It's Sand Force? Why are you Sand Force Grimmsnarl? Or Sand Force Landorus? Alright, I'm going into Lunala, I suppose. Why is it Sand Force? Because Sheer Force negates the ability for getting the poison, so it has to be Sand Force. What the heck? That's so funny. I'm just gonna follow me, Trick Room. Yeah, because once I get Torkoal in, go for Eruption, I think it's a pretty ideal situation to win. I still can't believe why it's a Sand Force. Again, I think a lot of the game comes down to, did they Glacial Lance, did they high horsepower? I think if they make the foul play in the Rampardos, they're more likely going for the high horsepower double up in the Rampardos. But it just comes down to, since they didn't reflect, it just comes down to Cali Ice speed. If they went for high horsepower, got the boost, I still get good damage into Cali Ice. I think it's still... I still think it's pretty reasonable for me to win, but yeah, it's definitely still a factor. Sans here doesn't even KO Indie. Wow. Well, it is... yeah, because they're taking Life Orb chip too. That's what Sheer Force negates, man. Foul play gonna KO the Indie. I guess they just forgot to change the ability on the Lando. I don't know, man. Trick Room with the Lunala. Torkoal's coming in. We're clicking Eruption. Honestly, with no Iron Hands, I didn't feel too bad about the spot if I was able to get my own Trick Room up in the late game with Eruption. But yeah, obviously so much easier to deal with. We could still easily lose this game to the Landorus if we get unlucky here with Grim. So we're going to go for Eruption, and we're going to go for a Moongeist Beam into the Landorus. Because you never know. Grimmsnarl has access to Thunder Wave. If it goes for Thunder Wave into Torkoal and I get fully paralyzed. What's funny is the fact that they're taking Life Orb damage might save me because of that. It might save me because they're taking a bunch of recoil where they might go down to the next Life Orb hit after a Moongeist Beam. Then again, they're in light screens. I kind of doubt it, but we'll see. I do think that their only out is to click Thunder Wave into Torkoal. All right, here comes the Lando. Terra Water. Okay, that's not too surprising. Eruption Moongeist Beam should still get this Lando though. Oh, they paralyzed the Lunala. Interesting. Okay. Here comes Eruption in the sun. Here's the thing though, if they Sludge Bombed, Eruption will KO the Lando, so they have to what, get triple protect? I didn't get paralyzed, so Moongeist Beam just KOs the Lando. Nice. So goodbye Landorus, and yeah, I think it's actually funny because I do think it's because of the Life Orb recoil that I would have been fine even if I got paralyzed on the Lunala that turn. I thought they were going to paralyze my Torkoal, but Terra Water I guess makes sense on that team. So yeah, again, I don't know what the spreads are. They didn't Terra the Cali Ice, so that made things a lot easier. I thought it was just going to be defensive Terra because I thought like Cali Ice was a good defensive Terra. Maybe it's Terra Fire and they didn't, like Rock Slide would have still threatened anyway, but I don't know. Terapagos, Grimmsnarl, Urshifu, Fluttermane, Volcarona, and Landorus Incarnate. Okay. Grimmsnarl is really annoying with screens. Although, is this the GC, like one of the GC teams where it's like Specs Pagos? It might be. If it's Specs Pagos, I don't like dealing with that as much. Okay, we'll figure it out. I think I'm just gonna go with Lunala. Lee Lunala plus the Urshifu immediately. I think back I'll have the Indeedee for the terrain if I need it, and then Rampardos because it breaks through Volcarona, which is a Pokemon that's pretty tough for me to break through otherwise. I guess I could bring Torkoal, but the problem with bringing Torkoal is a lot of my damage is concentrated on weather and terrain then, which means that Terapagos, once it goes for the Terra, is really annoying to get rid of. I want to lead Urshifu because if I can threaten close combat immediately in a Pagos, I think we could live one Star Storm if they go for like a spread. Like if it's Choice Specs Terapagos, if they go for the Terra, that means it shouldn't knock out Urshifu. I think with Terra, it can. Or without Terra, it can KO because single target is stronger than the spread target. But that gives me a free swap, I guess, into Rampardos, and then I can go for really heavy damage that way. I don't know. It's not like a perfect game plan, but I think a lot of the hard trick room plans are not great into like Grimmsnarl stuff. So let's see. I might go for Sucker Punch. But we are going to see Grimmsnarl Terapagos. Yeah, I have a feeling this might be Specs. So we lead Lunala plus the Urshifu. I'm just going to go for close combat, I think. I just want to threaten the Terapagos as badly as possible. So I'm going to go for Trick Room and I'm going to go for close combat. Like, this should probably be Specs Pagos. Like, team composition wise, I think it makes more sense. And that means I'm just going to go for Fake Out Close Combat. I guess if they have Dazzling Gleam Foul Play, this is a terrible option as well, but we are going to see the Terra here probably is going to be the Terapagos, and that makes it a lot easier. Although I'm kind of curious on why you Terra'd, because if I went for Wide Guard here, you were in a pretty awful spot, I think, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, they just go for Fake Out into Urshifu, so this kind of makes sense. That crit might mean I go down to Star Storm. Unironically, I think that crit might matter because it actually might just put me in Star Storm range. Okay, no, it doesn't. Okay, perfect. So I am able to get Trick Room up with the Lunala. I feel like this is decent. Does the Grim carry Foul Play or Spear Break? That's going to be a massive question. I think I want to go Indeedee for the terrain, and also I don't want Lunala to get foul played, and I'm just going to draw off a close combat into Terapagos. Yeah, I couldn't switch out into Indeedee for the block the Fake Out because they went for the Terra, which means it would have gotten rid of terrain if I switched in Indeedee, so there's no point of going for that. That was a play that could have been considered, but yeah, I just didn't think it was really that great. We're going to see the Terapagos switch out, which is fine. Urshifu taking a lot of damage is nice for Rampardos, so I'll definitely take this. It is foul play too on the Grimmsnarl, so they can't really threaten the Dark Urshifu that well, so this is actually pretty nice. I pretty much just get close combats across the board. Focus Sash? Yeah, Focus Sash. Okay. Does foul play knock out Urshifu? It's quad resisted, and Urshifu is good defense. I don't know. I think I just go for an Alluring Voice attempt into Urshifu, and I think I just go for a close combat into the Grimmsnarl, because I could go for Follow Me, so they're not going to protect most likely. Yeah. Alluring Voice picks up the knock on Urshifu. That's great. Let's see. Can we KO the Grimmsnarl too? Can we survive a foul play? Is foul play? Does not got Urshifu. Okay, that's fine. I think I want to go Rampardos and threaten the KO into Grim. Yes. Terapagos comes out, which is fine. I'm going to go for Helping Hand, and I'm going to go for Iron Head. Because if the Terapagos locks into the If it locks into a move like Starstorm, I can wide guard with Lunala and seal it. So I just go for Iron Head KO to Grim because it one, it's immune to Expanding Force. Two, I lock it in for the final two Pokemon, which I think is pretty good. Rampardos, I think Rampardos kind of one specs Terra Starstorm. I'd hope so. Indeedee might survive too. Yeah, we do survive, which actually isn't as ideal, but that's all right. Landers comes in. Okay. Is this Scarf or is this Life Orb? Because that's going to be a big factor. I have one more turn of terrain after this turn. I think I just go for Helping Hand Rock Slide. I go for the Stellar Terra Rock Slide actually because I don't need Terra on Lunala at all in this game. Yeah, so we go for Helping Hand, Stellar Terra Rock Slide. If we had Head Smash, this would be so nice actually. I wish we had Head Smash over Thunder Punch. Because we could blow it to Terrapagos and then I would say, oh, this is probably a good game. But let's see. Stellar Terra, Helping Hand, Life Orb, Sheer Force, really high physical attack. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Rock Slide. Oh my goodness, that did way more to Terrapagos than I thought. Okay, I think we had the guaranteed win now. Starstorm gonna come out. This is definitely choice specs Terrapagos based on the damage. I can go for a wide guard here with Lunala. I'm just gonna stall out some of the Starstorms. I'm not gonna stall out all of it. Just so I can get the multi-scale with Lunala. Also, if they have like Dark Pulse for some reason and there aren't specs, which should be specs based on the damage they've been doing to my team, then I just would have lost anyway. So like, there's no point. But yeah, we bring out the Lunala, we click wide guard a few times and then get back to multi-scale and then we go for Expanding Force to KO. How many Starstorms that they went for? That was like the third one, right? Yeah, this is the fourth one. A bit of leftovers recovery, and yeah, then we'll win the game. We don't even have to technically stall out. Yeah, just two more wide guards, and then we can go for Expanding Force, and then finish out the Pagos. But yeah, we just spam wide guard. They probably forfeit here, especially yeah, because they are locked into Starstorm. So very nice. I think it is Scarflanders on this team, which is why I was willing to take the aggressive risk play of going for as much damage as possible. Like the fact that we could have almost knocked out the Terrapagos was insane. Helping Hand Rock Slide. I guess you have so many multipliers on that, but geez, I did not think it was doing that much to Pagos. All right, let's go over to games. In game one, Dark Urshifu didn't care about all the dark types my opponent brought because all I had to do, keep clicking close combat from a choice band Urshifu, get Trick Room up, and then the Eternatus was left alone for my Pokemon to just dish out as much damage as possible to it while they could not clean up in the end game. In game two, this was a crazy team, Uxie and the Annihilate, and the first couple turns were a bit rough. My opponent was definitely getting me on the switches correctly, but I was just able to have a fantastic part where I was able to get the double knockout into the Incineroar and the Uxie with the Moongeist Beam and the Rock Slide. Then the Assault Annihilate was in, Thunder Punch actually came in clutch, and then the Miraidon was left alone and could not win the end game. In game three, it's nice being able to pivot with the U-turn and force the Terra out of the Miraidon, so that was really nice. And I was just able to do a ton of damage with that Expanding Force and get rid of that Miraidon. It was a little bit spooky though with the Urshifu. Had to hit some Sandsear Storms and take some risks, but was able to really be heavily rewarded by hitting them. And then I was able to clean up the Iron Hands even outside of Trick Room. No Trick Room even necessary in this game. In game four, it was such a good start. I really was just not thinking the Ogerpon would attack, and I did consider potentially having Expanding Force on this Calyx Shadow Rider, but I'm like, that shouldn't even KO unless they crit me. But unfortunately, I got crit by the Expanding Force from the Calyx Shadow Rider, and that let Indeedee go down, so I wasn't able to set up another Trick Room, and then it was just really bad from there. Maybe I could have double attacked, but I really thought my opponent would go for that double protect, and I still think the odds were pretty good in my favor, assuming I didn't get crit. In game 5, had a pretty good start of being able to eliminate the Koraidon, which was very useful in general. And then with some good reads, such as the Moongeist being the KO to Terraghost and Incineroar, if it was gonna KO, would have been impactful. I guess it was a Assault Vest Incineroar and I missed the KO, so I should have went for the Earth Power double up. But luckily didn't get too heavily punished and was able to clean up the end game thanks to the Landers alongside the Rampardos. In game 6, I think this matchup was definitely pretty difficult because screens with Grimmsnarl alongside Calyx Ice Rider and just bulky Pokemon in general were pretty rough. I do regret going for the Terra Grass immediately with the Lunala, and I kind of wish I did save it, which was unfortunate because I wasn't really sure about the taunt from the Urshifu, but was in a decent spot with Wide Guard, Lunala. However, I'm just surprised they did not Terra the Calyx Ice Rider because they risked it. Moongeist being followed up on the Calyx Ice Rider. It really came down to some speed stats alongside just being able to who was faster between Rampardos and Calyx Ice Rider. Though I do think they were probably faster because they had Thunder Wave Grim and I am Mint Speed Rampardos. In game 7, was able to get Trick Room up and just dish out a ton of damage, just like how this team prefers, being able to do so much, especially with that Stellar Terra Rock Cypher and Rampardos almost knocking out the Terrapagos, which was not what I was expecting, but yes it was. And luckily Landers didn't have Protect, so I was able to get the KO on Landers and then have the Terrapagos isolated. So how was the team? Hard Trick Room is Hard Trick Room. There's a lot of potential to lose cons. It can overwhelm teams, and luckily we were able to do a ton of damage with our sweepers, especially the Lunala, and the Rampardos was able to put in a decent amount of work. It was actually pretty cool of how Rampardos could, though I think the coverage might have been a little bit more to be desired. Head Smash I think could have been really powerful, it's even into resistances, which would have been really nice in general, but not a bad Pokemon. It was actually able to do something with its high attack stat. Do I think it's the best Pokemon out there? No, but was it kind of fun to use and did have a role on this team? Yes. If you'd like to check out the details of the team, you can check them out with the rental code on your screen. Hopefully it's still available by the time this video comes out. Otherwise, you can check out the details of the team in the creator down below in the description. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.